Welcome back, kings and queens. I see an error, but it looks like we should be okay. If you're here watching the replay, thank you for joining us. Today we got a bunch of news to go over. The market's looking a little bit nuts, but we're going to see what's going on, go over our charts, and get into a little bit more. So we'll start with that right now. Alright, so after everything that's been going on the last couple of weeks, we had a couple of really big green days, but with the news that has just come out today, it does seem like there is a little bit of weariness. So over aftermarket, you could see that there was a lot of drops. So let's just start going into these one by one. So as you know, I hold UEC. I'm a big fan. It's a uranium company. Hit a high of, I think it was 1420 something last week, and we are starting to go back down. My next line is at 394. If we get that and we go through it, actually, you know what? Let me set that up right now because this is going pretty quick. So I'm going to edit this. I'm only going to do a few. Let's just do 3, and we're going to do a stop limit, and we'll do 395. So if it hits 395 and we get and it doesn't hold over that line, theoretically, I should be able to buy lower again. So this would be me taking profit, and then as it goes down, I could pick up a little bit more. We'll see how that works out. But now that we got that going on, let's zoom out just a touch. Let's see what it looks like a little bit further out. Now, this could be creating a very sloppy cup and handle. Could be too soon to tell. But if it hits the 395 and bounces off, let me lower that just a touch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower it to 390. That way, if we go through that line, it'll close. So I don't sell too early, just in case I'm not watching the chart. So if it does hit the 395 line and it keeps going up, then we could see that cup and handle execute up to our next line, maybe about 450, probably about like 445, 440. But as you know, that's not the only thing we're looking at. Starbucks, I do have some Starbucks too. Now, I was thinking about selling a couple of these the other day because they were in profit. And I will admit, it was one of those emotional decisions where it's like, I've been holding on to these for so long, let me hang on to them for a little bit longer. But at the same time, we got to go with our rules. I saw the cross, I saw the volume, it was there. I could have sold and bought a little bit lower. Not going to buy now. I swing trade. That's more of me taking in that note, and then we'll go from there. As far as when I say we'll go from there, I will determine what I'm going to do after I see it play out this week. I don't like selling too much on Friday, mostly because a lot of people sell on Fridays because they don't want to hold over the weekend. So since I swing trade, I try not to sell on Friday because typically that means I'm at a loss. That's not a rule. Oh, man. Virgin Galactic. Whoa. That took a hit. All right, I'm not surprised. This one I really am kicking myself a little bit for not selling at least one. So I'm going to get into the news of why this probably happened a little bit later. Not this second. But we'll at least look at the chart. So you can see the cross happened in the after hours, or it looks like even yesterday, and it's just tanking. So ATR is still up, which is positive, but RSI MACD, this is one of those ones now where if I do, what do I have in this account? I got 423 liquid. If this goes into 423, I'm definitely buying this. But at the same time, I like that's I bought one or two of these shares in the $6 range. Let me just hop right into the news. Let's see, how is my time going? Yeah, let's hop into what I have saved that we're going to talk over. It's not all news, obviously. We're going to get into crypto. We're going to get into some altcoins, talk about Bitcoin, and then we'll get into some more quote-unquote news type stuff. So I got some of these things open. We'll get into that in a sec. Let's look at the crypto first. So with Bitcoin, it's still holding over 23,000, which is pretty cool. I'm a little kicking myself in the butt because I did have to sell mine to survive when I got sick and then through recovery. but at the same time, I'm glad I'm DCAing now at the $23,000 range. Ethereum is just showing really strong. It's $1,700. Last time we checked it out, it was like $1,600. BNB also, Biannce, their native coin, 320. Last time we checked it, I believe it was at 260 or so. They just got some news also, which I'll get into. XRP, let's see what else we got here. Cardano, another one I'm staking. Polkadot, they got a little bit of news. I don't know if I have that in the news because I think that might have been too nitty gritty. Let's see, Polygon, still holding over 90 cents. Avalanche looks like they gained about $1. Did I spill my shirt? Oh, felt a little warm for a second there. Litecoin up another $1. Uniswap about another $1. Things, okay, so it looks like people are at least feeling enthusiastic. That's what I'm getting from seeing this. Is there might be some red where there is still some uncertainty, but overall it looks like there is still money in the market, and well, that's pretty important. Okay, let me get my links back in order. There we go. Okay, so first thing I want to look at is, so this is called whalestats.com, and this is going to be basically a little bit of a analysis on the top 100 coins on the Ethereum blockchain, meaning, you know, their sales, their prices, think of their social, status, like what's going on. It's a bunch of different metrics that are pulled together. Anyway, so most traded token right now is Matic on the Ethereum network. I'm not surprised. It's a layer 2 that helps with transaction speed and I believe quantity, and they do other stuff too. Mana, which is Decentraland, widely held token. Again, not surprised. It's a Decentraland, either gaming, metaverse, one of the two. Maybe it bridges into both. But that's one that I do plan on DCAing back into too once I get my comfortable amount of BTC and a couple of other things. And of course, SHIB, not surprised, that is the biggest token position by dollar value because of that whole run up and everything, and people still do believe, and people are still buying SHIB, believe it or not. Let's see. This chart I like. So this shows you the holdings of the whales. What is it? Want to see the data for 5,000 whales? All right. So this shows you the holdings. So SHIB 20% of the holdings. Of course, you got USDC for easy conversion. Best, I don't know too much about. I like checking in with this because it also tells me some coins that I don't know about that apparently are getting bought up. There's Mana, Matic, Crow, so Crypto.com, Chronos, Engine, another gaming token, Gala, another gaming token. There was some news on that today. Again, I don't know if I brought that one up. Uniswap, MakerDAO. So a lot of these are still holding strong. Chili's, I always want to say cheese. A lot of these are holding strong, or at least still in the top 1 or 2%, even though they, number one, some got bad news, and number two, the market has just absolutely been demolished. So even with new things being created, still it seems to be pretty strong at the top held coins. Now, this, it looks like they changed up the way they do things, because you used to be able to get access to this more or less free. But I can't get access to the other information, but this is still good information right here. So top social mentions for crypto, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I know they just had a hack or something like that. Dogecoin, not surprising. Now Tezos is one that I've always seen talk about, but it doesn't seem to move too much as far as price. I mean, it does, but it lags as far as what you think that they would be doing. And then Avalanche and Cardano as far as the top ones. And I thought this was pretty neat as far as the words that you can look up. Now, these are pretty standard, but if you're someone like me who really likes to connect and find new news, it's good to know what the most used words are. And then here are some of the social posts. All right, let's get into our news. Actually, before we do that, let's go back, look at our charts, see if anything has changed too much. Okay, so UEC is still holding strength. Oh, by the way, nothing here is financial advice. It's for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please talk to a professional financial advisor, CPA, all that fun stuff if you do plan on making any decisions. This is more of like, hey, here's some stuff, and then go, talk to someone professional if you're going to do anything with that. I'm just a guy who's showing what I'm doing as I do it. I just happen to be doing it for a long time and gained and lost and gained some more, and who knows? We're here. So let's go see what. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of strength back from Virgin Galactic. Which, you know what? Let me go into talking about that now, since I'm bringing it up again. All right, we will start here. Okay, so Virgin Galactic delays their flights again. Now, it says, I believe this is the third time within the last year that this has happened. So their shares are down 10%, nearly pre-market trading, and that's, I believe, the dip that we just saw a little bit ago. I did not trade at the close yesterday. Probably should have. But as you can see, they're saying second quarter of 2023 is when they're hopefully going to be, or is when they're looking to be set back until. So they have the only aircraft carrier, the carrier for their aircraft, called the Mothership, which apparently has to go through some lengthy refurbishment, costing a whole lot of money. They got to defer some money and all that other stuff. So they plan to sell $300 million in common stock to help offset that cost, or at least help with getting cash on hand. I'm not going to go too much around what else is on here. I think this is just like hot stocks. Yeah, so here is where they talk a little bit more in depth about that $300 million shares at market offering. So, yep, they're filing with Credit Suisse and Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, to raise money for general corporate purposes, including working capital, general and administrative matters, and development of its spaceship fleet and other infrastructure to scale its commercial operations. Now, they did just make a deal with Boeing not too long ago about having one of their ships take them up to 500,000 or 50,000 feet, whatever the edge of space is. So I'm a little curious as to, I won't say why they're repairing the ship. Obviously, they want their own stuff, but a little curious as to what that means. Like, what is Boeing not taking them up? Is Boeing going to be another option? So I guess as they build that relationship and we start to learn more, we'll see more of what Boeing's role is going to be. I mean, hey, maybe they're just getting some of their engineers to help fix the mothership that Virgin Galactic actually has. But you can look back at one of my last videos to check that out. I don't know which one it is, but I talk about Virgin Galactic and Boeing deal. They also have sold their first 1,000 tourist tickets to Virtusio or something like that, another company. So their seats are already sold for the first 1,000 at $450,000 a piece. So Virgin Galactic has money coming in. They have a plan. They have all this stuff. I mean, it's Richard Branson. It's just making it really matter, I guess you could say, making it happen right now. So Coinbase absolutely rocket shipped yesterday. Went up like 100%, which was absolutely hilarious because ARK sold. I mean, I guess it's not hilarious. I shouldn't say that. But Cathie Wood sold Coinbase at like $60-something. At least that's when I read the news. It could have been less, could have been a little bit more. And then yesterday it just absolutely skyrocketed. So let's just look real quick to see what Coinbase. Oh, hey, we're at $7 again. All right, cool. So at least we're going up quick again. So this could have been just a little bit of a scare, and then now people are buying into that that weakness so that they can kind of make some more money. All right, so we're at $88 now. So it absolutely skyrocketed up to $115-ish, $116.30, and we're back down to $88. So now this is one of those things that if they just waited a few more days to sell, they would have at least made some of their money back. I think their average buy-in was like $150 or $200, something like that. So it's still high, but I mean, that's a pretty big loss to get. So this is why I like swing trading, and this is also why I like doing a mix of swing trading and day trading. Because sometimes I'll do a quick trade. Sometimes I go in here and be like, oh, actually, you know what? That's a good example. So last week for Verizon, I made a buy and sell real quick just within the day. I'm not going to worry too much about trying to find it. But it was at like 45.40 or something like that. It went down a bit and then went back up to like 45.60, 45.70. And now because Verizon isn't super volatile, and actually, am I still holding it? Hold on. Am I holding it? I am still holding it. Okay, so I bought Verizon and then I sold it for a little bit of a profit. And then I bought it again at 45.10 because when I look at the chart on the longer term, now if we just pull it back to the day, you can see just last week, okay, right here. So this chart down here, just last week, we were at $54. There's no reason we should be down at 44, really, besides I think whatever his name, Kramer mentioned it once that Verizon isn't doing anything, but Verizon is still one of the strongest in cellular, still one of the strongest when it comes to 5G, and still have the most, or pretty decent, or I should say wide range coverage too. They have a lot of customers basically. So that's a $10 jump. So I wrote down in my notes to hold it for at least a week the second time, so this time that I bought into it, to see what's going to happen with it. So I'm down 53 cents now, but I expect within the next week to be up at least in the last support level, which is like $48. So that's a $3 gain in a week. I'm not going to argue with that. And then I bought a little bit more of Workhorse. This is more of a crapshoot, I guess you could say. So let me back out. Workhorse is something that I bought into a year or two ago, maybe 3 years at this point. And then I sold before it had this absolute run up. I was a little butthurt about that, but it is what it is. And they've still been doing good. They've still been getting deals with EV. They just got their first cars delivered, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, excuse me. So more and more is coming out about that. More and more about electric vehicles are coming out. I think once this summer passes and we stop seeing people saying, hey, stop charging your cars because of using electricity, I think we'll see the ramp up of electric vehicles being sold and electric vehicle related stocks being sold or bought. Although some of that stuff I do think is priced in already, especially with everything that's always going on with semiconductors and everything. Let me get back over to the news. So as you can see right here, oh, there it is, $53 is what they sold their shares at, so around 80% loss, $255 a share. That's nuts. That's a huge loss. And I believe they're making a deal with someone to be buying a whole lot of Bitcoin. I have to look back up to see exactly what made the Coinbase stock skyrocket. But they just got some news like a couple of days ago. Coinbase Prime. Who's buying? Someone's buying. Was it oh, it's in here. BlackRock. Yes, there it is. Okay, BlackRock. That's what it is. So yeah, BlackRock. They own basically everything at this point. Yeah. Anyway. So 5G. I'm not going to go too much into this. I just want to say that when it comes to any of the sectors that I'm investing into, or industries, communication is a big one. And I am looking at 5G just because of how quick they say it can be. I don't know how I really feel about it because, I mean, why do we need to keep creating these different types of layers? I mean, I do know why. But at the same time, we do understand a little bit more about electromagnetic fields and just fields in general and what it does to us. So I'm kind of curious as to see how these communication type technologies start to contribute to, you know, mental health and all that other stuff, and just possibly changing a little bit about how things are run in general in different countries that are now able to have more access to it, especially when you have things like Starlink going up. That's another one that I'm going to be looking into more. So anyway, they're talking about how Apple is one company that is kind of a 5G company, and then it's being transferred through Amazon, and then they're saying T-Mobile is a leading in 5G right now. As far as for post-paid subscribers, you got Qualcomm, who is a semiconductor company, a chip company that they believe is going to be starting to show, we'll say, a little bit of different movement with 5G being ramped up, with AT&T catching up, with the chip shortage not being as much of a concern. I guess, well, let me not say as much of a concern, but we are more on the terms of maybe we're going to be having less of a shortage as opposed to why aren't the ships getting into the dock or port at all. Now, mind you, with Pelosi being over in Taiwan right now, that's changing things a tiny bit for the current news, maybe for the future, we don't know. We'll stay on top of that. But Verizon and AT&T are the other twos that are in there. They say that they're going to be catching up between the end of 2022 and 2023, and then Dish has turned on its first 5G market, which I was a little surprised to read that, but won't go too much further into this because honestly it goes into a whole bunch of companies I don't know much about, but if you want to read it, feel free. Let's check in with the charts right quick. Okay, so as you saw, I have Verizon at 45.10. I'm down about 50, 60 cents-ish, which again, swing trading. And I day traded something yesterday other than Verizon, but again, I think it's good to say, what's what I'm looking for? Versatile. Don't be a one-trick pony, effectively. The QQQ, okay, so there we go. QQQ back up to 321. It was at 322 earlier. I think it was at 322 last night or yesterday. So I don't know too much about this. I just know that a lot of people use it for indicator for the market to move. So I figured why not throw it up here and get my eyes on it also. These are a couple of paper companies. Haven't been looking too much into them. And then there's T-Mobile. So I got my cellular companies up at the top. So if you're ever watching this on replay, like I mentioned before, if you're following me live, that's my setup. Or at least for right now, the couple that I'm buying into are going to be all the way to the right, left, and then the bottom right here. The very speculative will be these bottom two. The middle will be some kind of market mover or market watcher, whatever you want to call it. Like Tesla was up here before because I was using that to kind of see how crypto is moving through stocks in a sense. And then my cellular is up at the top. Okay. Coinbase up to $90, so we're getting a few dollars strength already. So that didn't take too long, and I'm not really surprised. Space up to 711. There we go. And was that new news? Virgin Galactic stock divides after analysts says sell after launch delay. Stock sales pan. See, I think two people get stuck on the immediate news because I mean it's still Richard Branson. They still got hundreds of millions of dollars. They still got plenty going for them. So I don't understand why there's all this sell all the time. I wanted to clear this up real quick. So the last live that I did, we talked a little bit about Michael Saylor and how he was no longer the CEO. The way I had stated it made it seem like he was fired, I guess you could say. But come to find out, it has nothing to do with him being fired. He is, let me scroll down a little bit. So, I'll pause here. There you go. If you want to read, pause. Have fun reading. If you want to read, pause. Have fun reading. This right here, I think is the most important part. This at least tells the details at more length or in a quick bit. So this was yesterday at 10 a.m. to give context. So this is after he's no longer CEO. We are so excited. We are so excited for the future of Bitcoin and to see how our company thrives under Phong Lee's or less, maybe it is Lee's. I should probably hear that pronounced leadership. And that's MicroStrategy. That's not Michael Saylor talking. So this is MicroStrategy, the company, saying they're still optimistic about Bitcoin's future. We're excited. And now this is after, again, him not being CEO anymore. So then this is a retweet from Michael Saylor. You can see it on the screen what I actually mean. Since adopting a Bitcoin strategy, MicroStrategy has outperformed every asset class and big tech stock with my ascension to executive chairman. So that's what happened. He did not get fired. He did not get let go. A lot of people were assuming, even I was assuming that maybe it was because of the trades with Bitcoin, buying all the Bitcoin, I should say, that they were like, hey, we're not feeling this anymore. You can't be CEO. But it was not that he was fired from CEO. He is now executive chairman. They have promoted Phong Lee to CEO, and they have someone new, Andrew Kang, who is going to be the CFO. So they say the team is stronger than ever. It sounds like everyone still believes in Bitcoin at MicroStrategy. And then it goes into a little bit more about how they have Bitcoin mining console. not how they have it, but where the people are from, what the strengths are coming from, and talks about how he's a genius entrepreneur and he can just see things. Like, he's so smart that he can finish the end of your sentence whenever you're talking, which whatever that means. So let's go into the next one. Now, this is the one about Biannce. So as I mentioned before, wherever my crypto chart went, BNB is up at, I think, $320 something now, which is, it was at 260 last time that we checked, which was just Wednesday. BNB, so Biannce and MasterCard launched Bitcoin rewards card in Argentina. So that is really big news, especially some places like Argentina, who is always experiencing high inflation. So I'm not going to read this word for obvious reasons, but you're going to be able to get 8% cash back or crypto back on these cards in Argentina. But Argentina's government or policymakers, whoever it was, wasn't allowing people who were dealing with crypto to trade or to participate in certain things if they were trading in crypto within, I think it was 90 days of use. It's in here somewhere, but basically the Argentinian dollar is constantly inflating. Right now it's at about 64%, and the people who trade in crypto or deal in crypto in Argentina were not allowed to buy US dollar effectively. So with this card, they'll be able to not only buy US dollar, they'll also be able to exchange and pay bills in US dollar, because it's supposed to be an instantaneous transition or exchange to USDC or the likes. Instagram adds Flow blockchain to NFTs. Flow tokens pumps 44%. So Flow token is the one who was NBA Top Shots. I'm not going to read this for too long, but right now, or as of this article, is sitting at 276. But basically, they're trying to do what like Twitter is doing with connecting different wallets and allowing you to display your NFTs on Instagram. Then this also goes into talking about how Mark Zuckerberg, whatever his name, Zucks, wanted to buy, where is it? So he wanted to buy a company, but they basically said that he couldn't buy something. So Metaverse, blockchain network, Metaverse, he wanted to hint at an interest in enabling interoperable assets to or part of his platform, but Metaverse has yet detail. Okay, so not everyone is too keen on Facebook buying. Founder of Chairman Notable, investor brand, told Decrypt last week. So anyway, there was something that they were trying to, oh, there it is. So it's a VR fitness app. There's a company that I guess backs them, where they use, and it allows them to be in VR, and not the SEC. Let me make sure I'm getting my terms right. United States Federal Trade Commissions said that they could not buy them because it would just give them too much of a leverage. They would basically own all of Metaverse. So here it is. Meta would be one step closer to its ultimate goal of owning the entire Metaverse if allowed to purchase, the startup regulators alleged in a filing. So it doesn't surprise me that would be borderline a monopoly, and especially on something that is brand new. As someone who is in the space, I don't want Mark Zuckerberg to be that far into the space, and as someone who sees this space being used for other things, I think it is definitely best to not allow any one company to become the conglomerate in it, like Standard Oil used to be in back in the day, or GE, I think it was. But anyway, I wanted to pull this up real quick. I'm not going to read this too much. We'll just hover this, go on to CoinDesk. But if you're looking to start a coin or a token, or let's just say token, there's a Y Combinator type for Web3 people. So check that out. Let's go back to the charts, see what those are looking like. All right, we got UEC that's finally showing, I shouldn't say finally, showing strength again. Starbucks down to $2. What are you guys doing in the market? Are you holding in cash? Have you bought into positions? Are you selling? What is this news doing for you? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to see how the average person, and I would consider myself the average person. I'm just saying we're not in an institution, but how we're looking at this in different perspectives. Let's check out space one more time. All right, 717. Okay, so currently I think I'm going to keep everything the way it is. By the way, check out my shorts. I'll put a card up here, one of the sides of the video. I have YouTube, I have shorts. of different definitions, jargon, things like that, and I'll be creating more also and my other edited videos that are coming out. But I think right now I'm just going to be holding a cash position. So overall, I think we're looking a lot stronger than we were before. I think the market is trusting the FOMC but still showing hesitation. So it sounds like there is a lot of people who are buying into this strength, and it looks like we're kind of trusting Jerome Powell's move. So I'm going to do the same thing, at least for right now. But at the same time, as I get more cash, as I build up companies, or as I start investing more, I'm going to be going into more stable positions. So like Bitcoin, gold and silver, funding my Roth account. I'm not going to be doing too much alternative investing right now. I'm not going to be buying too many altcoins right now. I'm going to keep things as solid as I possibly can. So join me on Monday for another Market Open Live. I'll see you guys at 8:30 Monday morning. Until then, have a great weekend, kings and queens.